Well, good afternoon, or I should say morning, excuse me. It's still early in the morning. I'm in the grow room and it's actually just warming up in here. It's 73, it's 60% humidity. Humidifiers have kicked on, lights have just turned on, so it's just starting to warm up in here a little bit. I'm just out looking plants over. I was running errands yesterday and I went by Lowe's to pick up some filters for the HVAC system, you know, the air conditioner. And of course had to stop in the garden center and take a look at plants. And not looking for orchids, but you know how it goes. When you're not buying orchids, that's when you seem to buy the most. Anyway, I did find a couple of nice looking little plants. I think they'll be okay. Once I got them home, I found out that I had a couple of issues, and I thought I would sit here and go over a few things with you real quick. Let me take you off for just a second. They're not very descriptive. I mean, just the bag. I took these out of the bags, and the moment I took them out of the bags, I found a snail on one of them, a live snail on one of the pieces of bark. So at that point, I forgot about the camera, and I just immediately went into search and destroy mode. I didn't find any more snails. I searched and searched and searched, did not. One of the things I noticed, I've got dirty fingers, excuse me, but I'm going to show them anyway. I've been outside. Mr. Jackson brought me a bunch of lilies this morning. I've been outside digging in the dirt, but I'm not sure how well it shows up, but there's a crust on all this stuff, and it's real shiny. It's just real shiny. What you're looking at now is each one of these has had a little over a gallon of water flushed through them. I poured about I don't know, a quart or so on them at first, each one, just to get them good and wet, let it sit and soak into them for a little while. Then I flushed them again. They've had about a gallon and a half. They've been flushed about 4 times, and maybe even a little more than that, but they're much better than they were, but they're still, you can just see it's just a glistening, shiny, it just glistens like little diamonds, little crystals. It's either nutrient buildup or sodium, you know, sodium or something like that of that nature, but regardless, still salts or something of that nature, but shouldn't be on the bark, shouldn't be on it. And after I've been flushing it that much and it's still on it, there may be some sand in the mix, but I don't think that's what I'm looking at. And from the look of the roots and stuff, it shows all the signs of some type of buildup of something. So there's no active roots on any of these. They do have some decent roots, but just nothing active looking. The plants are well hydrated now after a gallon and a half of water. They actually feel really thick and crisp, a lot better. This dendrobium is a little bit dehydrated yesterday. Not much, but feels much better today. Latoriate dendrobium. This is Dendrobium Hawaii Spectacular. It's purple, Big Alex times Spectacle. It's got a 8/18/17 date on it, not even a year ago. It didn't come in this pot. I just put it in here so it wouldn't fall over. And of course, I can't get it out very well with one hand, probably. This plant has the same issue all 3 of them have. I'll show you. Let me put you back on the tripod, actually. There we go. Maybe I have some room now. Has the same issue all the others do. It's buried in the media. I mean, it's just buried. If you look at it, that's probably an active eye or growth node right there. You know, that could be a future growth, possibly cane. But it's buried in the media. There's even bark stuck up here in the crotch of it. I mean, it's just buried. Those don't do that well when they have nutrient laden media or salt encrusted media pushed up against them. That's not probably beneficial for them, not at all. And being buried that low, they're not getting any light or any air to the roots, for that matter, or anything to possibly grow any of those active eyes, if there are any. Oh, there's even moss in there. Oh, good Lord, I didn't know there was moss in there. Oh man, that's horrible. I didn't realize that it's got broken down moss and bark on top of it. These are going to come out of here really quick. The snails was all I needed to see. Would find a snail. That was all I needed to find. So it is. I like the plant. I like the shape of it. A little cigar type shape. I hope it's not going to become a big dendrobium. I don't know. This could be a baby. I don't see signs of previous flower or anything like that. But thought I'd show that one. These were like $12 a piece. A little more than that. And normally I can get one of these and get one free or something. But Wasn't the case yesterday. I don't know why. I just felt like buying orchids. You know how it is. You know the routine. Again, this is the same thing. Has this exact same issue. Let me get that steak out of there. Flip it around. Maybe I can see better from this side. This one has the exact same issue. It's just buried in the media. Just buried. You can't see any roots at all, can you? You can't even see the top of the rhizome. Barely on this side over here because it's probably growing uphill, but you see how that's just not good for growing. Get your rhizomes up on top. You should be able to see that, and you should be able to see where the roots are coming out of the rhizome. To me, that's how I plant mine, so you can see them. So you can see the rhizome. And actually, that's really weird. I grabbed that one. This is the duplicate. I didn't realize that. I guess I wasn't familiar with the name when I bought this one. I didn't recognize the name, but this is the same one I bought a couple of weeks ago. So I guess that's probably why I didn't remember the name, because I haven't had it very long. But this is that one that grew all these crazy roots, those two big growths on it, and it's been doing so well. So apparently I have two of those now, which that's okay. It could be worse. Could be worse. I don't mind having a good grower if I have a duplicate, but I want to get it out of the media, get it cleaned up, and see if this one will respond just like the other one did. If it does, I mean, that just shows you right there what that can what that can cause. So that one's probably going to go into lava rock, since the other one's doing so good in lava rock. The dendrobium, I'm not sure about. I want to take a look at the roots, and now that they're in moss and everything, there's probably not a whole lot in there. So that one might get mounted. I don't know. This is BLC Hawaii Red Ruby, Hawaiian Ruby Paradise Purple. BLC Hawaiian Ruby Paradise Purple. Has a nice new growth on it. I want to make sure, see if I can keep that growth going. And again, just that horrible media. It's all broken down. It's buried. Look how deep it's buried. You can see some of the roots over here, but I like the shape of it. I like the size of it. Unifoil it. I like that. I like how it grows. Should make for a nice plant once it's kind of shaped up and held up a little bit, organized. But got to get it out of that media. There's no telling what's in the bottom of that. If there's moss in some of these others, there could be in here too. So that's got me a little nervous, but not too bad. I just wanted to show those new additions. Really, I have no business getting more orchids, but everybody knows how that works too. So I'm just out here looking around at some of the plants. No watering today. It's an off day. Everybody looks real good. Everybody's had plenty of water and nutrients over the past couple of days. Plenty. Everybody's in good shape, growing well, doing well. I've got a couple of fowls with an issue I'll go over later on, but other than that, that's about it. And I think that was something I caused with their media. But other than that, everything's doing good. I'm just waiting for the temperatures at night to get just a little bit warmer. We're still getting into the mid 50s or mid 40s and upper 40s and even low 50s occasionally, but I need to get a little bit warmer than that, closer to 60 degrees, 55 to 60 degrees before I start putting everybody out without fear of hurting anybody or slowing anybody down, especially since they're coming from a fairly warm environment now. So I want it to be a smooth transition. I don't want to have any other issues with them. So that's it. Nothing else really going on, just waiting for stuff to happen. And I think I've got a little video I put out earlier about Mr. Jackson coming by and his lilies that he found and brought for me. I'm going to get back to it. I've got a dirty room I got to get cleaned up. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for all the great comments. Thanks for all the response on the videos. I really appreciate it. It means the world. Let me know where you want to. Let me know what direction y'all want this to go to. What else can I talk about? Give me some topics. I'll get a. I thought about even putting up. I've given out my personal email address to a few people, and I'm probably not going to be using that much more because I don't use that one for a whole lot of anything anymore. I don't check on it very often. I apologize to people who are using that. I'm not getting a very good response, but I'm thinking about just setting up a separate email that I can give out on the site for everybody to contact if they want. They can send a picture in of a plant if they're having issues with a plant, or even just a beautiful bloom. We can start showing some of the viewers' blooms and stuff like that. I think that'd be great because there's so many people telling me about their beautiful plants. I hear about it, and boy, I'd love nothing else than to see what they look like. Plus that way we can share it with everybody. And if they have a sick plant, we can also, a couple of times, maybe every once in a while, put up, let's do a bunch of sick plants today, and we can go in and take a look at a bunch of sick plants, and everybody can get some experience in trying to diagnose and trying to, by looking at a plant and getting the information. We'll give everybody a list. If you're going to turn in a plant for diagnosing, you got to answer these 10 questions. Like what kind of nutrient mixture you're using, how long have you had it, what's the grow environment, just a few questions like that, so we kind of have an idea what's going on, and then we'll take a look at the plant and see what we can come up with for them. Maybe we can help some people, and at the same time, more importantly than helping somebody, if that's not enough, which it should be, is everybody else gets to learn at the same time too. It's good experience, really good experience. There's nothing better than hands-on experience for, learning from mistakes and taking a good educated guess and trying again. Doesn't hurt. So think about it, and we'll talk soon. Have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon.